Nintendo Switch has been lacking with farming and cozy games to play recently, but this all is gonna change in 2025 and beyond because we have a ton of confirmed titles that you're gonna be playing. By the end of this video, you will find at least one game that you had no idea about. Let me know which ones you're gonna be buying day one. And we're starting with Stardew Valley on Crack, otherwise known as Cattle Country. This quickly got on my radar when I heard a familiar voice narrating the trailer. It was none other than the voice actor of Arthur Morgan, the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption 2, one of my favorite games of all time. Naturally, that caught me off guard. Then the more I learned about this, the more intrigued I was. Cattle Country is bringing a hybrid of insanity. It's mixed into the farming genre, which we know can grow stale very quickly if there aren't enough gameplay mechanics that make the gameplay loop fun enough to engage in. So here you have your fishing, mining, crafting, and farming, but also cattle drives, bandits, robberies, and sweeten the gameplay with a bit of romance. We also can't forget mentioning how cute the graphics look, add in some slice of life elements and a bit of action adventure, and I am definitely in. Before we continue, let's hear from future Miss Bubbles. And while you collect all of these cozy games, you know, the way that you play them also has to have a certain vibe, and I think I have the perfect swivel chair that you should definitely check out. This is where FlexiSpot comes in with their swivel recliner chair, the XC6. They kindly sent it to me, and I have to say, this one is so good. This feels like a spacious cloud that you can relax on. It rocks back and forth, which is so relaxing to do, and all the padding in this chair is extremely soft. It also reclines if you want to relax while playing your games, if you want to watch a show, read your favorite book, or maybe take a quick nap before you get back to gaming. The seat is very spacious, which I love, so you can sit however you want to feel the most comfy, and it's a perfect place for me now to unwind after a long day of work. You know me by now, I love FlexiSpot's products, and I have featured them in a couple of videos by now. If you want to get your own swivel chair, make sure to check out the link in the description box, and you can use the code XC630 to get $30 off and free shipping, and trust me, when you sit on that chair, you're not gonna go back. Alright, back to our list. If you love coffee talk, this game has to be on your radar. Afterlove EP combines visual novel and rhythm genres together. It takes place in Jakarta, Indonesia, where you play as Rama, a young musician struggling to move on with life after his girlfriend dies. You have 28 in-game days, and your decisions will decide how Rama's life is gonna turn out. He has neglected his music, his friends, and his mental health. I adore slice of life elements in games, and I appreciate when they address heavier topics with a cozy twist just to make it a little bit more bearable. So I'm definitely excited for this one, and luckily it's coming very soon. If you're a fan of this channel, you know that I adore RPGs, and the moment I heard about Atelier Yumiya, I jumped off my seat. This might be the perfect entry for cozy gamers because while it does have combat, it is turn-based, so you can think about your decisions before making them. It also has elements that cozy gamers love, like resource collecting, exploring, base building, and of course, a meaningful story. We can also build bases, which I don't think I've seen any Atelier game do. Atelier games are known for their quirky cast of characters, and the elimination of time restraints in recent entries make the series much more accessible for casual gamers. I reviewed Atelier Mary Remake before, and I thought it's the perfect entry for casual gamers. I'm gonna link it for you, so I'm definitely excited for this one, so fingers crossed it's gonna be a good one. Next we have Sugardew Island. It's from Roguelite, the same developers behind Spells and Secrets, which got a lot of positive feedback, but also strained its sales, which had mixed feedback for a long time. Let me know if you've played either of them and what you thought about them. So in Sugardew Island, the added twist to the farming genre is owning a shop and running it. I love shopkeeping games as long as they have a fun progression system. Otherwise, usually they're a snooze fest for me, just like Amber Isle sadly was. The developers promise uncomplicated shop sim mechanics with a focus on taking care of your animals and your farm. You can grow crops, gather resources, customize your character, have pet companions, upgrade your tools, and complete quests. You can also romance, but the characters just look like toddlers to me, so I'm definitely skipping that part. If the shopkeeping is not too simplistic, this might be a really good game to dive into. This looks very interesting outside of the romance aspect, so let's see how it is when it releases. And as if my excitement for Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma has not been expressed 500 times already on this channel, I have to talk about it just like 1, maybe 10 more times. The new trailer we got a week ago made me even even more excited. Best part is so far the performance looks promising, so I hope they took their experience with Rune Factory 5 and did what's necessary to ensure a better port on the Nintendo Switch this time around. In this new spin-off entry, we are an Earth Dancer. We're fighting against the Blight, so we have two new protagonists, Subaru and Kaguya, to choose from. Let me know which protagonist you're gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Kaguya. Not only are we gonna farm, but also we're rebuilding entire villages and exploring ones with traditional Japanese themes. And of course, you have 16 bachelors and bachelorettes ready to be swept off their feet by you. I cannot contain my excitement again for this one. Finally, we have a release date, and May 30th cannot come here soon enough. The next one took the internet by a storm, and it's called Floatopia. It's an MMO all about farming, fishing, logging, and decorating on a floating island, and you're in a world full of superpowers. There's a main story unfolding in different realms for you to visit, inspired by diverse cultures. It looks magical and full of potential, wholesome and cute, but as usual, MMOs have the question of a gacha system, if implemented, or microtransactions. So hopefully we don't have any pay-to-play features that will be locked behind paying endless amounts of money. And on a similar note, we also have Loftia, a solar punk farming cozy life sim MMO, drawing inspiration from games like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. They had massive success on Kickstarter, and you can expect to have player customization, house decoration, crafting, and more. It looks promising and the graphics are so cute, so stay on the lookout for both of them. However, I am skeptical about both because of the question of microtransactions. And speaking of all of these cozy games, hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. Make sure to squish the like and subscribe buttons because I'm gonna be saving you a lot of money this year. I'm gonna be reviewing pretty much all of these games that are on this list, and money is tight, so make sure you stick around to find out if these games are good or bad for you. Now on paper, Shire seems like it can be a 10 out of 10 farming game. It's an RPG sandbox with emphasis on farming, town building, mastering trades, combat, exploration, and more. It reminds me a lot of Littlewood, a game that captured my heart when I least expected it to. However, the problem is I played Shire's demo in 2023, I believe, and the game was struggling to say the least. The good thing is that the developer is very active on Twitter. They did say that they are delaying the game from 2024 to 2025, so hopefully they've had enough time to work on the problems that the demo had. And while we talk about improving the game, I really hope that the font gets changed because the current one is so hard on the eyes to read. The next one is bringing a fun twist into the farming genre because you're playing as a vampire, and if that caught you off guard, then Moonlight Peaks has to be on your radar. Here you can use things like potions and spells as well as supernatural abilities to guide you on your farm. You can become friends with werewolves, witches, and mermaids, and you could even romance them if you want to. I haven't talked much about this one because I'm so excited about it. However, it's coming sometime in 2026, but I still wanted you to know about it. I also really love the aesthetic here, so I'm intrigued by this to say the least. I've mentioned Sally before, and I hope it actually releases in 2025. It was on Kickstarter and was backed by over 2,000 people, and it raised over 130,000 Canadian dollars. The Studio Ghibli-inspired graphics look stunning, and the game's emphasis on community is wholesome, and it's good, like, if it's gonna bring us non-cabbage NPCs, no? You're on this magic flying ship and navigating life as a kid. You can cook and farm and build and help your friends. Again, your NPCs are not cabbages. They have their own emotions and tastes and interests and memories, so you can develop friendships and rivalries with them. So I guess there's gonna be some tea in this game. I don't know about you, but this looks absolutely adorable. We are getting monthly updates on Kickstarter about it. However, I really wish we have a time frame for it already. Here's one that we talked about quite a few times on the channel. It has seen its fair share of delays, but that also makes me hopeful that Level 5 really cares about this game and they want to make sure that this is gonna be the best one ever. Fantasy Life, I, the Girl Who Steals Time. The first game was such a breath of fresh air when we played it on the 3DS, and the addition of new things in this new entry, such as terraforming and the freedom to decorate the island however we want to, and new professions including farming and artist, it's all gonna spice up the variety that we already had with the pre-existing 12 professions from the first game. This is gonna be a great entry to introduce new people into the franchise because the gameplay here caters to so many different playstyles, and it's all about how you like to play your games. You can be a fisher or a woodcutter or a cook for something more chill, or if you want to, be a badass, you can be an archer or a paladin. There's something for everyone, and that's so rare to say about a JRPG because most of the mainline series tend to cater to specific audiences, they're more hardcore with their gameplay mechanics, and they are usually not that welcoming to casual gamers. We also can't make this video and not mention Tales of the Shire, a game that has already raised so much controversy for different reasons, including how the feet look and if we really want to see them. Jokes aside, the environment looks stunning, the gameplay has me curious. We've got fishing, farming, and cooking, but it's the cooking that's really caught my eye. There's something special about when farming is tied into a game with a deep interactive cooking system, and the developers have hinted that they're working to make it even more complex. That definitely has me intrigued. If we get something similar to Epic Chef, maybe not as intense, but still letting us experiment with flavors and aromas and, you know, cooking fun dishes, I'd be all in. Plus, I've been in my decorating era recently, so I feel like this one ticks a lot of boxes, and I was very skeptical about it, but I'm slowly growing fonder of it. I'm sorry, Wooly. So we'll see how I feel about it when it releases on March 25th. So is it just me, or are we seeing a lot of games that are focused on vans and like packing up your stuff and moving? Well, let's add one more to the list. Outbound brings the concept with a twist of building your own home on wheels and living sustainably off-grid. You can craft workstations and power supplies, source energy from the sun, wind, or water, upgrade and customize your vehicle, grow crops, and explore a colorful world, and you can play all of this with up to 4 players. I do wonder if there is an end goal in this one or if it's more like an open-ended game, but the graphics look amazing and the gameplay seems very promising. Last week we talked about Farm Folks, a game that is bringing its eggs into so many baskets, and it's a little bit difficult to keep up with what the intention of this game is anymore. And on a similar note, we have Trade Tales that is doing the same thing. So yes, I am an NPC in the game, which is definitely exciting, but that's not enough to make me intrigued. What makes me intrigued is the mix of gameplay mechanics where you can manage your farm, run a factory, open your own shop, and you do so to build your brand. Unlike Farm Folks, I feel like these genres make a little bit more sense because we're not having guns and PvE and PvP and stuff like that. I feel like Trade Tales is still kind of keeping its eggs in like baskets that kind of make sense to put together. So that's why I'm not as skeptical about it as I am about Farm Folks. In Trade Tales, we've seen a lot of gameplay footage and it looks really fun, but it does again make me wonder, like, is it gonna be a jack of all trades but master of none, or is it gonna be engaging enough with complex gameplay loops? If this one flew off your radar, you gotta wishlist it. Tanuki Pond's Summer is yet another mail delivery service game. We've been seeing a lot of these games recently, and I'm not that excited about a lot of them. This is actually the first one that I'm really intrigued by. You play as a part-time mailman cycling through a picturesque Japanese town. You deliver packages and you help locals with quests, but then you can also enjoy fun activities like bug catching, making sushi, I think, baseball, sumo, and more, while unlocking a variety of decorations to restore the Great Tanuki Shrine for the end of the summer Matsuri Festival. This looks absolutely adorable, so I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Super Zoo Stories Kickstarter was a massive success with over 5,000 backers, and it raised over $250,000. So to say a lot of eyes are on this one is an understatement, and it's all for a good reason. This is a pixel art RPG where you build an animal park and you can manage and customize it to your heart's content. But that's not all. You can also enjoy farming, taking care of your critters' well-being, interacting with the residents, exploring the world, and even starting your own family. It takes on the management sim in a way that we haven't seen done a lot before, but also the fact that it's being ported into the Nintendo Switch is a good thing, because again, we don't see these games coming to the Nintendo Switch that often. It is ambitious, and I did notice that the Kickstarter never hit the final goal of starting a family, so I wonder if that's gonna be something to be added later as a DLC. And another successful Kickstarter campaign is making it to our list, and it's called Hotel Galactic. This one lets you transform a rundown intergalactic hotel so you can turn it into a thriving tourist destination. Similar to Sally, it is inspired by Studio Ghibli, and it looks amazing. You can renovate rooms, you can optimize the hotel's layout, engage with the game's ecosystem, and get to know your guests, all while you explore a world set on a floating island. I cannot wait to play this one, and make sure you wishlist it so you can support the developers. Grimoire Groves is coming very soon, where you step step into a world of magic and mystery, where witches arrive to find a once vibrant forest now depleted of its mystical spirits. So you're here to restore Grimoire Groves to its former glory. You're gonna unlock new spells and experiment with the balance of the 4 elements. You also grow plant creatures, forage for resources, and craft powerful items to help you along the way. You can also befriend mythical creatures and help them regain their strength by decorating your cottage with magical items. The game has a hybrid of cuteness and roguelite elements, plus a splash of dungeon crawling. You know me by now, it's always exciting for me to have a hybrid of genres in a farming game that actually makes sense. I always end up enjoying the game, so I'm interested in this one. Now, this next one is not particularly confirmed for the Nintendo Switch, but I did reach out to the developers and they said that they would really hope to make it happen, so I would be so sad if I don't put it on your radar in case it does make it to the Nintendo Switch. I'm talking about Lose Lagoon. This is yet another game that I'm eager to play, and it adds something we have not seen much in cozy games, which is flying your own seaplane. While many cozy games have come out recently where the focus is on mail delivery services like Micah and the Witch's Mountain, Smushy Come Home, and Mail Time, Lose Lagoon is setting itself apart by adding more gameplay mechanics that will immerse you into its world. You can use a vacuum to explore various islands on the Limbo Archipelago while collecting resources and then using them to build and craft. So yeah, who knows, this has a high chance of coming into the Nintendo Switch if it gets enough love, so I really hope we can make it happen. Back to my love for shopkeeping, we also have Discounty, where we manage our own supermarket, so you're in charge of organizing, restocking shelves, checking customers out, and making local trade. And this is all happening while you befriend a quirky cast of characters. I cannot explain how excited I am for this one because it has all the shopkeeping elements I look forward to, and I want to see how chaotic this will be, but also I want to embrace the coziness of decorating and making friends in the game. And while all of these titles seem very exciting to play, at the end of the day, a lot of them might come out and be a disappointment. So watch this video next where I talk about my 2024 cozy and farming games disappointments. Thank you to my YouTube and Bubbly patrons for making videos like this possible, and a shout out goes to the games I mentioned, Jake, Logan, and Stephanie for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.